listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast, a Texas Tech athletics podcast where food and sports clash at the goal line. Here are your hosts, Spencer and Michael.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 23 Personnel Podcast. I am your host, Spencer, joined by Michael. Michael, what's up, man?
I am trying to catch up to portal season. It has just been wild. But I think you've got some good updates for us.
I do, and as of, 75 minutes ago, I heard it from Joey McGuire's face that we had Lee Hunter. And then 15 minutes ago, I heard it from Twitter that we have Lee Hunter. Let's go. I was at dinner tonight, and walking into the restaurant, a man several steps ahead of me opens the door and enters, and as he gets close to the restaurant, because it was dark outside when we got there, his features were illuminated by the entrance of the restaurant. Opens the door, light hits his face, like, oh, that's Coach McGuire. Walk in, say hi, what's up, man? I didn't say what's up, man. I said, hey, Coach. He said, hey, and then was meeting somebody that like walked in directly behind me. It's like, you're busy. Good. Okay, bye. Sat down. Didn't have dinner with the man, but we could hear his table. We were close. It was a loud restaurant. I couldn't hear the words. There was a large group. They were having a good time at dinner. But was joined at dinner tonight by a defensive line coach, Zarnell Fritsch, and a Lee Hunter and his family. My boss is good friends with Joey McGuire and his wife. So after they were done with their dinner, he came over to say good night and goodbye to my boss, good friends. Made mention that they were there on a recruiting visit. Reference that I was kind of keeping up with all the recruiting stuff. He looks at me, he's like, we got him. I was like, oh, hell yeah. And then he also dropped that there should be another commit announced soon along the offensive line.
What do we call? Okay, what is the classification of these sources? Is it tier 1 or?
If you are a subscriber to Red Raider Sports, I believe it's level 0 when you hear it from the source.
Okay, that's where I was. That's actually, I didn't know that, and I just assumed that that's what it should be if it wasn't. So
the source told me he was actually more confident that we would hear something about the offensive line commit than we were tonight. We're going to hear about Hunter. The way he said it. It was, yeah. He said we should be hearing about these other guys soon too. So there you go. And unfortunately, because I was delayed coming home from dinner because Las Brisas messed up my steak. If you can believe it. I had to send it back.
I can, because they did that to me too.
I ordered a ribeye because of course I did. Of course I did. And I asked it for medium rare. It was like on the rarer side, and it came out, and I cut off the tip, so not the spinalis side, but the opposite end, just as a taster piece. And I was like, "There's not a lot of color in that bite."
Yep.
And
I don't know what they do, but they overcook steaks quite frequently.
And because it had taken so, because we were a party of 7, so I was like, I'm not going to send it back. I'm not going to make a big fuss. We're here for dinner as a group. I'm not, whatever. I didn't pay for the steak, so I was like, I'm gonna eat it. I had a couple more bites, and the more I got towards the center, like the more color was coming in. I was like, this is edible. I will be fine. But like my boss noticed, like, you didn't order a well done steak. I was like, no, I certainly did not. So when the waiter came over and asked how, she's like, his steak is blasted. It's overdone. I was like, you didn't have to say that. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're right. That's not rare steak. So I took it back. I was like, well, there goes my dinner. So we had appetizers.
30 minutes later, they come back.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to be a douchebag. Like we actually talked about the movie Waiting before
Ooh.
this. I was real like, hey, yeah, it's not what I ordered. He was real gracious about it. I didn't make a stink. But I had my sides. I had the creamed corn and the Southwest mashed potatoes. Those were all gone by the time I got my steak back. I had like 2 bites of the steak to test it. But I put my knife on the steak. I kind of pushed on it, and it was like, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeah, there we go. Anyways, I had a good time at dinner tonight. Um, as did one Joey McGuire. So
Well, should we just jump right into it? What other portal updates do we
well,
have?
oh my gosh, portal update. Well, yeah, we'll do it. Since our last recording, I don't know where we left off on guys leaving Texas Tech or announcing going to the portal, but Dalton Merriman, Miles Thompson, Micah Hudson have all committed to their new, or at least announced their commitments to their new schools. Dalton Merriman's headed to Houston. Miles Thompson, Northern Illinois, doing a little swappy there. Picked up
Yeah,
a
that's
couple,
interesting.
and then Micah Hudson heading to A&M.
So does Tech get
Which
a draft pick or something, or does Northern Illinois get one with that swap? I'm not really sure how that works.
I actually think Texas Tech ended up on the plus side here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like Northern Illinois, we might have to surrender a draft pick.
Just, who else do you want from our team on the portal?
Yeah,
You want a Jordan Brown or
we've got a. Yeah, you want a punter? We've got a
like
punter in the portal.
Jake Strong? You want a quarterback? So yeah, and then a handful of guys we've already talked about last week. They're still in the portal. I haven't heard any updates. I haven't seen anything. I'm not sure you will. But then incoming guys, I don't know who all we talked about yet, but Hunter Zambrano, offensive lineman from Illinois State, supposedly the number 1 offensive lineman in the portal. He's a Red Raider. Defensive back, cornerback, Dante Balfour, originally from North Carolina, most recently at Charlotte. He's a Red Raider. Defensive back, safety, Cole Wisniewski, North Dakota State, number 3 safety in the portal. He's a Red Raider. Cornerback out of Mississippi State, number 7 cornerback, Bryce Pollock. He's a Red Raider. Wide receiver out of Miami, Ohio, number 55 overall. He's a Red Raider. Defensive tackle Skylar Gill Howard from Northern Illinois. He's a Red Raider. Offensive tackle Will Jados from Miami of Ohio. Defensive back Amir Boyd Matthews from UTEP. Quarterback Mitch Griffiths from Wake Forest. I was preparing to say most recently Terrence Carter, tight end from University of Louisiana Lafayette, Raging Cajuns, but that changed moments before we hit go live. So now that will include defensive tackle Lee Hunter from University of Central Florida, the number 1 defensive
Yes.
lineman in the transfer portal. At least was, because he's now out. He's ours.
Yeah, the top 3 in the country. Texas Tech is number 3, only behind Ole Miss and LSU right now in the 2025 transfer portal extravaganza. And all 3 of those teams have 9 commits.
Yeah, so the number 1 player in the portal, unfortunately, is Micah Hudson. But it's kind of interesting how they rank that, because he had 8 receptions for 120 yards. Whereas you look at a guy like Reggie Virgil, who had, I don't know. Let's look this up real quick. How many catches did he have last year, Michael?
I don't know.
He had
But
41 catches, 816 yards, 9 touchdowns, 20 yards per catch, but he was 55 overall. Tell me, which one do you want? 8 catches for 120 yards or 41 catches for 800?
that's just such an interesting way to rank things, like you already mentioned, where if, let's say I got all A's my junior year, then my senior year, I went to school every day. No one really knows what I did, but I was there. And then everyone just decided, you know what? I bet he made A's again. Let's just give him all A's again.
Yeah. So
It's fine.
I, tongue in cheek, facetiously said, with the things we'd heard about Hudson, it may have been sour grapes, it may have been some cope from Texas Tech fans starting rumors or softening the blow that like couldn't or wouldn't learn the playbook, or that he was just a bad mix in the locker room, blah blah blah. Number one, 5-star wide receiver, and he comes in and has 8 catches and has no impact at all. You're like, that aligns so very well with everything that is Texas A&M. So I said, couldn't imagine a better fit. So
Well, I mean, I haven't seen anything really substantiating any of that, so I'm really going to try not to. Uh, I don't know, speculate too much on it, but it's just it's disappointing to some aspect, but I am not surprised by it. I just felt like this was kind of headed this way. Apparently, some of our podcasting on the Stake in the Plains network, apparently there were some technical difficulties earlier this evening.
I mean, we also experienced technical difficulties. We were a little delayed once we tried to get started too.
Yeah. And I had to restart my router, and I'm still downloading at 6 megabits per second. So let's hope we can stay on the air, because that is slow.
Fingers crossed. But I mean, I don't want to say like we'll take you until they go live, but like, I mean, if you're waiting for a podcast, like we're here. We're streaming. We're here every Tuesday night.
We like smash burgers.
All of us are here every Tuesday. You sign up for a 23 Personnel podcast, you get all of us. You don't get some subset. You don't get some mixture of like, maybe tonight you'll get 2 of 3, 1 of 3. I mean, I don't want to blast the picadors, but you don't see us bringing in ringers to fill spots. Love you guys. But
we don't buy into the smash burger propaganda either. We know. I mean, we understand that smash burgers have been made since the dawn of time, particularly in the northern Midwest. But
I will I'd say it to his face. I'd also said it to him in a Twitter DM last night. As an individual who, I mean, he owns a marketing agency. Let's just put it that way. Has some pretty interesting takes on marketing. Also, has well, within the family. Let's put it that way. Co-owner, married to the owner. Also, as a CEO, he's a little slow on the uptake on the value of PR, and I mean, I'll just say it like optics. That's literally what public relations is. I know that's like a 2-week-old bit now from the Discord.
I did get vision insurance this year just so I could check my optics. I checked. I shouldn't really share that on. HR probably would not be happy with me sharing that in a public forum, but I did sign up for vision this year.
Well, we have all of our children are covered on vision. All of us. I mean, I'm wearing contacts right now. I've worn glasses on the stream. You've seen them. Anywho's. Yeah, we are fans of smash burgers. Was it marketing and a resurgence in popularity the past few years that brought it to my attention? Maybe. Did I buy special equipment to make them on my own? No. They're good. But also
and they're different. It's a different method.
Yeah, it's like thin crust pizza versus regular pizza. I think the other thing he was harping on was trying to the marketing side of it, playing towards the the manly image of a smash instead of just calling it a thin burger. Sure. Like you can say like that's the marketing side of it. Smash burgers, I got. And then Rob was like, "Well, that's how you form the patty, blah blah blah." Whatever. I'm
Well,
just gonna say like
Freddy's calls them steak burgers.
right, and that was the other thing they brought up is that inherently give it more value because it's called steak and not just a burger. Oh,
Because it's not made from ground chuck. I think they actually use different cuts of meat to ground their burger patty meat.
yeah. Well, I'll just say like you can't really fault an entire industry for doing its job.
Someone mentioned Blackstone. I still blame Blackstone. I think there's a tie in there.
Yeah, there's probably that too.
There's something big home propane griddle. That doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it?
No.
Usually it's big pharma or big oil or something big cast iron rusted griddle doesn't really do it. Big Waffle House cosplay doesn't really do it.
I don't want to be like taking more shots at the Gauchos. They're friends of ours.
Of course they are.
We've been in this thing together for a while. Like within that conversation, I think they also talked about the time we spent on the pregame show and some of the antics that Rob got involved in and like riling me up. Talking about what is his name? Why am I blanking on his name? It's Taj Brooks and the other running back that was the starter before Brooks.
Oh my gosh, why are we both going to do this?
Thompson?
Sir Roderick
Thompson.
Yep.
And it was like a prop bet that said Sir Roderick Thompson would score the first touchdown. And I can't remember if it was Rob or if it was Kyle said he has a nose for the end zone. And we got into that. I got all triggered. It was stupid. I try not to fall for that. I think I'm a little bit more mature and like I see his tricks these days. I also see through a lot of Kyle's too. Let's just be clear. Kyle is not immune or not he's not absolved himself from making those kinds of ploys.
I fold too fast. I always admire the stick to itiveness, the gritty way that nobody backs down from a take. And there's very few that I can actually stick with that on. You know, I think I'm possibly too reasonable, and I maybe actually listen to what people say and kind of maybe change my mind or form a different opinion. But there's probably a handful of things that I just will never let go, and my hatred of Buc-ee's is probably one of them.
Their hatred of Lubbock is that's their problem because they refuse to put one here. No, them Buc-ee's not.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Gauchos. I was like,
no,
I haven't listened
no.
to the Lubbock hate episode.
No, they are far from that. No,
but Buc-ee's hates all of West Texas.
No, well,
every square foot of it.
If you don't count Amarillo's, which it's not really West Texas.
Which I don't. It's not.
Then we're good. Yeah, we're same page. But
you can go to Alabama and get to Buc-ee's.
If they want to be on
Florida,
a main thoroughfare highway, you're not coming to Lubbock, I guess, until 27 gets connected somewhere else. But anywho's,
you know who lives closer? You know who lives closer to a Buc-ee's than we do? Someone in Denver. Okay, that's it.
Steven says he baits you into it. Well, both of them do. Yeah, they do.
Oh, they're masters. It's fantastic.
And they know what they're doing. They what's difficult is to figure out which one of them is being serious at that time, because they're really good at disguising that too. Which one's playing a bit, which one's actually on it. And it's funny when like even they can't tell between themselves. Like when because in that last episode, I think both of them asking like, Are you being serious right now? Okay, that's a lot of Gauchos talk. We were discussing
sorry.
lots of things. We love Rob. We love Kyle. We love them.
Absolutely.
We love the Gauchos. Also,
Money Mainville. Love him big time.
I'm just kidding. I haven't met Ryan. I'm kidding, Ryan. I haven't met you.
I
but
feel like
I'm
I know
sure
him.
we'd love you too. We know his breaker box pedal pretty well.
I think I'm old enough to be his dad.
Probably. Can't wait to transfer my $5 a month to 23 personnel. We would accept it. We toyed around with the idea of having a subscriber, a premium subscriber thing, but we just didn't have the bandwidth to mess with all that and whatever. We're just a couple of schmoes. We're in for the long game.
Well, let's let everybody in on what happened. I pitched this to you, and you shot down my idea of just streaming Farming Simulator while I talk about Texas Tech depth charts. I don't know. I mean, I think people would have paid for that.
People would pay for our discourse on Las Brisas and smoking meats and discussing why a Texas Tech podcast is named 23 Personnel. Speaking of Texas Tech podcast, Michael, are you aware
Texas Tech was started in 1923, and they just really love goal line formations.
I mean, they employed one. They used one in the game in Stillwater this year. It's our header image on our X profile. Go check it out.
We were just that Leo DiCaprio thing that whole time, just pointing at the screen.
They scored on that play.
I snap weird. I don't know how to use your ring finger when you snap.
I can. I don't.
Which one do you use?
My middle.
I can't use my middle finger. That doesn't. I use my ring finger, which is I've learned odd.
Yeah, I can do that, but it's not as loud.
Snapchat with 23 personnel.
It's perfect. Did we talk about Garrett McGuire being hired?
We have not gotten down there yet. No.
Okay, he's been hired. The biggest piece about that. So he will be the running backs coach, and Kenny Perry will remain as special teams. The numbers though get interesting when we start looking at like offense, defense, and all this kind of stuff. Obviously, you're gonna. I guess you'd expect now your defensive coordinator to coach a position group, and maybe like a combined position group. Like it may be a defensive back room and not like a cornerbacks room or a safeties room or a linebackers room instead of middle, outside, whatever. All that just because of the numbers, you unless somebody else leaves and you rehire or hire a new guy onto the staff, your staff is complete, or at least number of coaches you have allotted versus number of guys on staff, 1-to-1. So, but he is your running backs coach. Currently coaching a Jacoby Williams, Cam Dickey, Cameron Valdez room. Looking to add to that. We didn't get through all of our portal talk, but you're looking at bringing in possibly Quentin Joyner from USC. Went to Manor High School, same as Taj Brooks, which is interesting. There's a picture that was reposted from Twitter that Brooks and Joyner took when Joyner was on a visit to Texas Tech a few years ago. Ismail Mahdi, the Texas State running back, I haven't seen if he committed, but he's technically still in the portal. He is unofficial to Arkansas currently. But there was an official crystal ball projection placed for the running back out of Maryland, Roman Hemby. So he may be joining Texas Tech. I want to go back and talk about where we were right, Michael, just because I like to be right. We were talking about our needs in the portal. We talked about offensive line, specifically tackle. I'm quoting my notes here. So you added Zambrano, who can play tackle, but maybe more of an interior guy. But then you got Will Jados, who is a tackle. And then potentially Howard Sampson from North Carolina would be a tackle. I would assume those three would be your competing for the other three starting positions along the offensive line next to Scurry and Wilson. Running backs, we talked about adding age there. All of those guys are seasoned veterans. Wide receiver, we said a number one target, Josh Kelly type. That's Reggie Virgil.
Yeah, big time.
Quarterback, we said we literally need bodies behind Barron and Hammond. Since then, we heard that Barron has had surgery and will miss the bowl game. Unofficially, I'd heard that a while ago. I've also heard.
I kind of wondered if you know, in your network, if you knew something, because the surgery was actually last Tuesday, if I remember the press release correctly, because I think all that came out on Saturday.
Yeah. Same network tells me Taj Brooks is not playing in the bowl game, which is not unexpected.
I have a man. Yeah, I've heard that too from a very good source.
But so, anyways, so your quarterback room right now is Will Hammond, Jake Strong, who has 1 foot in the portal, and blank. That's it. Your
Jalen Conyers.
Jalen Conyers. So like, your depth chart for the bowl game is going to be Will Hammond, starter, Jake Strong, if he hasn't committed and been, signed with a new team by then, and then Jalen Conyers. So you need bodies. And then since we said that, you've got two. You had a friendship walk on, which I believe he'll be here in the spring, Holden Phillips. But then you got a transfer from Wake Forest, at least a part-time starter for them in 2023. Missed it this year. I believe he was trying to medically retire. But this is the type of guy that like you bring in to bolster depth. I mean, I assume he's being compensated. That there was a question posed on the Locked On Texas Tech podcast. I think it was Casey that said it, like maybe with the weird spot you're in trying to like find depth, you want quality depth there, but how do you spin that? How do you sell that to a guy? Like, you're coming in to hopefully never play. Well, like there are guys in the NFL that cash checks that live as the backup quarterback. They've had long, high paying NFL careers and never see the field. You kind of need to find one of those guys. Maybe Griffiths is that guy for you. But Wake Forest transfer. Tight end, you need depth. Terrence Carter from Louisiana Lafayette. Is it Lafayette? The Raging Cajun. Louisiana. On the defensive line, defensive tackle, we said you needed age. Since then, you've added Skylar Gill Howard and now Lee Hunter. You are, at least were, in the hunt for Jog Jarrett from Georgia. He was here on an official visit. Don't know if he's just weighing his options. Not many guys leave their official visits unsigned and end up committing to you. That's just the way that your program's been working. You've been locking people down. Excuse me. Not locking them up. Pass rusher, you're still waiting to see that. The guys you've signed now, like, they have generated pass rush, but they've been more from the middle. The defensive line alignment, we've talked about this. You're going to have a 3-man front. And actually, I've written about this front on Staking the Plains way back when I used to write for Staking the Plains. I actually talked about this. It's a 4-0-4 front. It means you're not playing in gaps. You're playing heads up. So 4 is lining up directly across from the tackle. 0 lining up directly across from the center. And then you can kind of shade and attack gaps diagonally and create pressure that way. It is something we've seen at Baylor under Aranda. There was, I'm not even sure who else was running it when I wrote about it. That's how long it's been. Let me look it up real quick. I can tell you. I mean, this was years ago. I wrote about this. Tight front, T-I-T-E. Let's see. How do we search?
How do we Google? How does one Google?
Well, I'm on the dashboard for the Stake in the Plains site now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm
You just gonna look up tight? That might do it. Because it's spelled so weird.
Patterson's defense, 2019. So it's been 5 years. This was Keith Patterson's defense. Okay. Yeah, I wrote about this 2019. Stake in the Plains. Go find it when we were hiring Keith Patterson. So there you go. Similar type of front. So you need big guys in the front, and then defensive end, rush guy. You're still going after that. Linebacker. I'm not sure if you're going to be going after linebacker just with the depth of the room that you've got. Cornerbacks. We said you're going after coverage. You've got Bryce Pollock, Amir Boyd Matthews from UTEP, and Dante Balfour.
Well, I think when we recorded last, it wasn't official that Rodriguez was coming back. I think that has since gone official,
which is
in
huge.
The last week. Yes, it was massive.
And then safety, we said age and depth. You got a senior who's got a ton of collegiate snaps, and Cole Wisniewski from North Dakota State. One of those tweener guys. He may play the what they call the hammer. Shoot. One of the outside linebacker positions for Shield Woods defense. You've got the rush, stand-up rush end, the linebacker, which is the dog. And I believe it's the hammer, but he's a linebacker safety. Wisniewski has played both for North Dakota State, was a linebacker, transitioned to play safety. In the 1 year he played safety, like had 8 interceptions. He was just phenomenal in pass coverage. It's a bigger dude, 6'4", 220. So fits that star type of hybrid guy. So I'm just going to tell you, like what we told you last week. You've been successful thus far, and you've been. It's been a fun week for Texas Tech fans. I'll just be honest. We're seeing all the people crying about the success Texas Tech is having, or that they've been having success against their own team, and like all the guys they were wanting, just lapping up all their tears. It's wonderful.
Oh, the tears from Norman have especially been choice. Just a lot of cope out there. We're actually losing recruits to Texas Tech. Yes, you are. Get used to it. What was that comment? Rodriguez is going to be QB4. Yeah, is he going for the next Heisman?
He's going back to playing both ways. Don't forget, he came here. I mean, he was a quarterback for Virginia when he transferred here.
It's the path to the Heisman house.
And
go take some snaps.
You got to be at a Power 4 school because Genty, I mean, he was close, but apparently as good as it's going to get.
He had 0 tackles. He's not going to win the Heisman with those numbers.
Yeah.
No tackles, no pass breakups, no nothing.
I probably have more gripe with Hunter winning the Biletnikoff than I do with him winning the Heisman. It feels like they like shoehorned him into the Biletnikoff to kind of say like he was so good as a receiver. You got the best receiver. He wasn't the best receiver.
I would say I have 0 gripe with him winning the Heisman. To be at this stage and to be that good at 2 positions, I think zero issue. But yeah, the Biletnikoff, come on. I feel like he gets kind of more of a benefit of the doubt on the receiver side based off of how well he plays defense too. So yeah, Heisman for sure, but I would be surprised that there's not another receiver in the country who was more impressive overall over the year, just as a receiver.
Yeah.
But he was, I mean, yeah, I think he was the best player in college football. So no gripes there.
I'm saying like it had to be because he played both positions. He was good at both. But had he just
Yes.
played one, he would have been a good position. He would not have won the Heisman. That's my thought. Because he wasn't the best at both. But it was impressive that he was able to do both at such a high level at the same time.
Yes.
Wasn't like he
Definitely.
played receiver 1 year and played defensive back the other. Like he was playing 100 snaps, 120 snaps a game. So
Yeah, he
all
didn't
right.
have 8 receptions for 100 yards.
No. Bowl season's underway, Michael. Well, hold on. Let's go back to Saturday. Did you watch the Army Navy game on Saturday?
I did not. I did not.
Okay.
I did some Christmas shopping on Saturday, so I missed a lot of stuff. I missed the Lady Raider game. I don't know. My head was not in the sports zone. I was out there getting stocking stuffers, fighting crowds, fist
Well,
fighting them, headbutting them.
Past that, bowls have started. I guess the official bowl season started, but like the first bowl tonight, Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, Memphis, West Virginia. West Virginia doing this without a head coach. Not sure why they elected to play in this game besides just to have fun and go to a bowl game, I guess. Because Marshall's like we're too depleted by the portal. We're backing out.
Well, Rich Rod's there. He's just not coaching.
Yeah. Well, they could probably use some Rich Rod magic right now because they're getting hammered by Memphis. Started the third quarter, 35-17.
Yeah, they've let's see. West Virginia allowed 21 points in the second quarter.
You know who else
But they scored 17 of their own, though. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, you know who else put up a lot of points in the second quarter against West Virginia? Us. These guys.
That team you just lost a recruit to.
Yeah. Texas Tech. West Virginia +5. I think that's gonna cover. I think it's gonna hit just fine. Next up will be, at least for Big 12, will be Kansas State next Thursday, the 26th, the Rate Bowl. So this is your first Big 12 action for 9 days. Then we will be Friday the 27th, obviously. Then you got 3 on Saturday the 28th, TCU, Iowa State, BYU. I guess 4 technically, but 3 games. BYU, Colorado, the Alamo Bowl. We talked about that, Michael, so much. I went the next day and watched some Alamo Bowl highlights when Texas Tech played. I found the highlight video that I made with my stupid little capture card on my computer, from my DVR into the computer. I couldn't figure out how to remove the black bars, but if you have one of the phones that lets you zoom in, it's 1.5 times. It's just straight up 1.5 times, and it's not the greatest. Not reception, but the resolution. Thank you. But just understand that was from 2009. Okay, this is a 15-year-old highlight video, and I was not good at making highlight videos.
7 million views. 8.
What does it have? Let me see. Not like 10,000 maybe.
Oh, really? That's pretty good.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of interest in that game because of Mike Leach.
Yeah.
13,000 views on this video 14 years ago.
It's about 1,000 a year, man.
Yeah. Still one of my favorite bowl games. Baylor will be on Tuesday, New Year's Eve. Arizona State Wednesday the 1st. We talked about all this last time, but yeah, portal season has been a wild ride since it officially opened on Monday the 9th. Texas Tech has just been, I mean, very few of these you'd be like, I don't see what we're doing here. Like Jados, I think, was a little bit more of a, I guess we'll see. But if you look at the guys that have left in the portal, and you do like a 1-to-1, like will Jados be a Buchanan or Merriman replacement? Maybe. Is he better than Garrett Morphus? Yes. Caden Carr? Yes. It was an upgrade off guys that you were already losing. Net positive. And that's probably the lowest one of the 3. Zambrano, better than all the guys that you're losing to the portal. I'm not counting Rogers. I mean, Got a soft spot in my heart for Caleb there. He's my brother.
It is.
Sorry.
You are related.
And then Samson expected to join the Raiders, not officially announced, but I'm waiting for that Matador Club tweet to come out anytime.
I've enjoyed those too. I don't remember them doing that as much previously. Seems like they're kind of they're kind of enjoying being part of it too.
I don't think they have, because it's just been just a new part of the process. And I love how these guys are coming on visits, committing, and then leaving having signed.
Yes.
It's not like they're committed. It's like they've been signed.
Yes.
This is fantastic. We will have our Arkansas preview next time. We are lining up a crossover episode with the with the Arkansas podcast within the College Huddle network. They are Hogs on the Hill. We will have some kind of crossover episode with those fine gentlemen for our next piece. But let me just tell you, like, previewing the Hogs is going to be interesting. They've been decimated by the portal. Like, Texas Tech has a ton of guys in the portal. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You got 13 guys officially in the portal. I think Arkansas is in like the 20s.
Yeah, I saw 20 a few days ago.
Of the guys in your portal group, like, you don't have any full-time starters on this list. Merriman has started games. Buchanan has started games. Jordan Brown has kind of flirted around with starter or the role he's played. Peebles, I think, has started a game.
Jake Strong started a game
Last year. But, like, none of the guys that you're losing the portal were full heavy contributors this season. And
I agree with that. I don't think we're trying to. I don't think we're trying to ignore things, or those are just facts.
No, and I don't mean I don't mean to downplay these individuals or their contributions to the program or the team.
We don't know what we're missing.
What I'm trying to say is, like, Arkansas is losing a bunch of guys from guys that helped them get to where they are this season. Texas Tech will also be without their starting quarterback, not because of portal, but because of injury. So, like, there's that. The coordinator switch up. There's that. This game is going to be wild, and, like,
it is
a true exhibition. Literally doesn't matter who wins this game, but, like, so we'll see.
I'm very excited to watch it because
I'll be excited to all the things. I want to see
there's so many unknowns from both sides that we're going to see, and you know, will the stadium hold up? Will it?
No.
Will it stay in one piece? Is there a chance? Are they going to set up like a tarp and stretch it really tight, and people can put camping chairs on it?
Can they walk across the tarp?
Walk across the tarp?
Let me see if the CFB graphs matchup has been updated. I doubt it, but let's see. Attack, neutral site, generate matchup. Nope, it's still a very thin margin in favor for Texas Tech, 50.79 to 49.21. So
those are percentages, not scores.
Yeah, the score would be 29.8 points for Texas Tech, 29.5 points for Arkansas. So
I don't know how you update that. I don't know if they can. I don't know how you can factor in how every single percent that's on the field is different almost.
Snaps? Like how you do, like, returning production?
Yeah.
But, like, you would get hammered in that stat because of Baron Morton. So,
well, that would just be really difficult for these metrics to track because they don't even know who's starting in a bunch of it.
So, all right. Las Brisas was excellent. It's undefeated for closers. Jeremy
except that
Che-
except that they had
Joey.
to cook your steak twice.
Yeah, and it came back like rare, and I loved it. The
Well,
two
see,
bites I took were fantastic.
that's why Las Brisas is so expensive because they
I got to cook it
have to
twice.
they have to factor in 2 steaks with every
Yeah.
order.
So we'll do more of a football update, or at least game specific. Definitely a portal update, because who knows what the team is going to look like next week. But we'll get to that next week. We have basketball to talk about, Michael. Men's and women's were both in action. Have games coming up. There's a men's game last night, and a women's game today. Men's game on Saturday, which we're going to. Excited about that. Taking the family. So let's talk about basketball, Michael.
Okay.
We're gonna jump back a little bit. I don't know when the last time we did women's game recaps, but from my notes, at least from the last week, they've been 2-1 since the 11th. So, a week ago, they lost at SMU 61-57, and then in quick turnaround played Sunday, and then again today, won both. Sunday's game versus Arkansas 75-72, and then today's game versus Lamar 73-67.
Yeah, that SMU game, I was kind of worried just because I knew that it was their first true road test. SMU's record wasn't great, but they're still, these type of things can slip you up, and it sure did. So I wasn't too heartbroken over that. The Lady Raiders getting their second loss of the year. That Arkansas game was really close. Maupin had, one of the best games she's had maybe in the last year. Where did she end up with? I had this pulled up, and my internet has been great. 7 of 14 shooting from the field, including 2 of 5 from 3. So not that great from 3, but 50% from the field overall. 9 of 12 free throws, 25 points. Of course, Jasmine Shaver's coming in with just a modest 18 points on the day, including perfect from the line, 8 of 8. And then today, of course, I was at work during the Screaming Children game versus Lamar. I heard your oldest went, didn't he? Did he have any tales? Did he survive?
He made it home just fine. Yes, he was at the
good.
game. We were toying with the idea of going, but then things got piled up on us on our schedule. I was shopping for. We adopt a family on our little Unwrap the Magic Christmas tree thing
Nice.
at work. We did our
Mhm.
shopping and wrapping for that family today. We had a big work meeting. I'm on a leadership team for this call we were on. Had that, and then we had dinner tonight. So we had so much stuff going on today that we couldn't make that happen and go
Well,
with him. But we're going to go together as a family to the men's game on Saturday.
Well, I'm sure he talked about how well Logan Johnson and Danae Fritz came in off the bench,
He did not.
combined for 24 points.
He did come home with a T-shirt though.
Oh, there you go. Fritz was 3 of 3 from the field, including hitting 2 threes. Johnson was 6 of 8 from the field. They were both perfect from 3, 2 of 2 for the day. So really a big spark of them coming off the bench. And man, the way those two play, they play hard. You see the term dogs thrown around a lot on Twitter, and man, especially Fritz. I mean, the way she gets after it on defense. I mean, Johnson same way. I mean, I used to say this about Chevalier, like there's got to be some circle in hell for people that are forced to break a full court press against Ashley Chevalier, and I think you could throw Logan Johnson in there on that same pain. It was just no. It just I would rather not do that. That doesn't sound very fun. But they survived today against Lamar, 73-67. Go on, go to Big 12 play starts now. So Sunday versus Houston. Houston's, of course, 4-7. They've struggled the last few years, but I think they did beat Tech last year. I feel like somehow they played 3 times last year. I think they met in the Big 12 tournament. and I think they did eventually get a win against the Lady Raiders, but that's 2 p.m. on Sunday, the 22nd, and then they're off until Wednesday, January 1st, where they travel to Oklahoma State. Why did I say that? I'm looking at it and I still read it. Arizona State, who's 5-5. This will be a 5 p.m. tip for us here in God's time zone. And most of the time, Spencer, when they don't have a TV channel listed on here, it still somehow ends up on ESPN Plus. So that's what I'm going to assume here. I think that'll be the case. But anyway, Lady Raiders off to a rocket start, 11-2. Their one loss coming in the tournament in the Virgin Islands, and the other loss coming just the other day on the road versus SMU, which was obviously their Super Bowl.
Obviously.
Yep. So the men's team, you said you guys are going to be there Saturday?
We're going to be there Saturday. Did you talk about Bailey Maupin though on the free throw line today? 15 of 18.
No, I somehow missed that.
Absolutely killed it from the charity stripe. 15 of 18, 21 points, but 15 of them came after taking a foul. Men's team played Monday versus Oral Roberts. They were 3-7. Did as expected. Took care of business. Won 86-50. Michael, they were led in points. This made me smile, man. This made me smile so much. Federico.
Oh, he had a baller. Wait, how many points did he have?
23 points on 11 of 13 shooting. He was 1 of 4 from the free. Yeah, 23 points.
Good number.
11 field goals, 1 free throw, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 block, and did that in 27 minutes.
Nice little double-double there. Not too bad.
Not too bad. You know who else had a nice game? Chance McMillan, 20 points on 8 of 9 shooting, including 3 of 4 from the beyond the arc, 1 free throw, 3 rebounds, 5 assists in 28 minutes.
I just still can't believe Federico only missed 2 shots. He missed more free throws than he did shots.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take a stab there. That was just, that's crazy. 11 of 13 from the field.
It's fantastic. You got Kevin Overton, Christian Anderson, Leon Horner, Jack Francis, and EY all scored points. Corbin Green played 2 minutes there at the end, did not score a point, did not register a shot, but Elijah Hawkins had 7 points. Darian Williams had 10. Kerwin Walton, I mixed those two names right next to each other, had 6 for your 86. Shot 53% from the field from the game, 35% from 3. You would love to be better at the line. You were 8 of 13. You didn't have to be super aggressive, just because you had a giant lead. 20 points. So 20 points off the bench, 46 in the paint.
Whew.
24 points off turnovers.
You know, it's good to see this sort of thing, especially with topping out. And I'm trying not to pour bad milk all over in our cereal, but this is what was Oral Roberts? Were they in the 300s?
I believe so.
Yeah. So I mean, it is good to see players play well, no matter who they're going against.
Yeah.
But I am ready for Big 12 basketball to start.
That's coming up.
Because I have no idea. I have no idea what this team is. I don't know if I am ready, actually. I'm going to say that, and then after a few games with one possession with 30 seconds left, I'm probably going to come back and say, Spencer, let's go back to those blowouts. Let's
Those were fun.
yeah. Let's bring in Stetson. Let's see what they're up to.
So
Maybe they've got a free weekend.
Lamar's coming on Saturday. The men's team, they are 184th in Haslametric, so
Not too bad.
about halfway. UCF may be your lowest Big 12 opponent, which will be your Big 12 opener. They are 102nd. But Lamar Haslametrics has this as a 20-point victory for Texas Tech, 77-58 or 78-58. Lamar is scoring 77 points and giving up 65. They shoot 46% from the field, 35% from three. Not a great free throw shooting team. They take 19 a game, but they shoot 67%. They're pretty. I mean, they don't have a great rebounding advantage over their opponents, 39-34. And then, like, the stats tell them like they look fairly similar to you. You're just a little bit better in every one of these categories. You shoot 51% from the field. You shoot almost 40% from three, 78% from the free throw line. You take 17 free throws a game, 37 rebounds a game. So they out rebound you, but you have a better margin. You hold teams to 29 rebounds per game. You commit fewer turnovers. You force fewer turnovers. But this is a opportunity to get one last win in before you hit Big 12 play. You'll have a little bit of time off. I say a little bit of time. This will be Saturday, the 22nd. Then you won't play again until the 31st. Or the first. The 31st. Yeah. Saturday the 21st versus Lamar. Then you'll play Tuesday the 31st versus UCF. All right. That UCF game, again, projected win for Texas Tech 79-65. Again, similarly, like they have very similar stats. They score 80 points a game, give up 75. They shoot 42% from the field, allow teams to shoot 42%. They're not good at three, 32% from three. Teams are shooting pretty good at three against them. If all this, like they take a ton of free throws, 25 a game. You're taking 17. They're hitting 76% of those. They have a little bit of rebound advantage over you, 39 per game. Teams are rebounding 37. They commit 12 turnovers and are forcing just under 15 a game. We'll do more of a preview for that game, but your Big 12 slate starts in 2 weeks from today, and then will be a 2-game per week affair for 10 weeks. We've said that a couple times already, but it's going to be rough. It's going to be a wild ride.
It will be.
They are 8-2. All right, because you're talking about you highlighted the record there. 8 people. Texas Tech is 8-2, and I'm not saying Texas Tech should be ranked. You were 8-2. There are 4 3-loss teams ranked in the top 25. Michael, you are not even receiving votes, so that's weird to me. Iowa State.
Well,
leads.
Okay, hang on. Who are the? I'm going to go through here. So the 3-loss team, number 11 UConn is 8-3. Well, obviously that's UConn, Spencer. It's Big East basketball, different animal. Gonzaga, number 13 at 7-3, faces a tough game tomorrow against Nicholls State. And then your other, Houston is the other one. And Purdue. Houston is 6-3 and is number 15. They've played, Purdue is at least 8-3. Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
You do have 4.
It's all about that name.
I guess so. 4 Big 12 teams currently ranked. Iowa State leads at 3. Kansas at 8. Houston 15. Cincinnati 19. Baylor is the closest. Receiving votes would be 29th. Other Big 12 teams receiving votes: West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Arizona State. Not even the little Texas Tech receiving votes.
Yeah, I'd be a little hacked off if I was Oklahoma. because you're number 14 at 10-0, and you're behind 7-3 Gonzaga and 8-3 UConn. And I'm just looking at this just records. I'm like the worst. I'm the worst committee member that you could imagine right now.
I wasn't comparing like strength of record or strength of schedule.
Yeah.
Those that do, I mean, like Haslametrics, KenPom, BPI, T rank, net rank. Haslametrics has you at 27, KenPom 22, BPI 18, T rank 17, net ranking 29. But no,
but
the AP voters are just a bunch of idiots.
Well, I wouldn't rank us. Really,
I probably wouldn't either, but I wouldn't have a 6-3 Houston in there.
Yeah, I don't think so either. No, I definitely wouldn't rank Tech, and because it seems like anytime we've faced a team with a pulse, we've either lost or almost lost to them. And we've only done that twice, and we're 1-1. So
you're 0-1 in quad 1 games. What?
Well, hang on. So we went 1-1 at that tournament in Brooklyn,
and
then lost to the Aggies. So is A&M the quad 1 loss? I guess.
I would assume so.
I guess it's got to be because they're ranked. Okay.
Yeah, 0-1 in quad 1, 1-0 in quad 2, 2-1 in quad 3, 5-0 in quad 4.
Ooh.
That one loss quad 3 is gonna haunt you for a little bit.
Ah, crap! I can't remember who it was. It was that
St. Joseph's.
St. Joseph's. Yep.
Because you've only lost twice. It was St. Joseph's and A&M.
Right, and almost lost the next night to Syracuse. Right?
Yeah. That I think that's your quad 2 win.
Yay. That's what just has me worried. Is anytime this team has come up anything resembling decent competition, they've either lost or barely won.
So I am excited to take the family to the basketball game. We've done this now a couple of years. I can't remember which game we went to last. It was about this time last year. It was early December. A blowout. I'm not saying it will be a blowout versus Lamar, but it should be. I don't love a 12 p.m. tip with trying to juggle meal times and weirdness of that, but we'll make it work. Seeing Scarlet, A&M is the quad 1 loss. DePaul is the quad 2 win.
That's right. That one was close too, even though Tech started off with like a 14-0 lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, there you go. Excited about the game this weekend to take the family.
Yeah, that was now that we have the Lady Raider season tickets, we probably won't do that as much, or we won't do that this year. But that was always our favorite time to go. Especially if I was taking my mom or something, just a lot easier to get her in and out of there, and easy to get tickets, and basketball is just still fun.
Yeah. Let's early for us. Let's wrap this up with what we learned, Michael. What do you say?
Oh, okay. All right.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either.
All right. Because this is related to what we were just talking about, Texas Tech basketball, I was looking for tickets for this weekend. And I was looking on the secondary market, and I was intrigued. I saw a ticket price, Michael, for $1 tickets. Can't beat $1. And a couple other ones. There's like $1 one. There's $2. Same game, roughly the same seat, like the GA seats, essentially. I was like, okay, let's check them out. I know these online ticket resellers and vendors have online fees on this kind of stuff, but call back to our discussion earlier. Online ticket vendors are a scam. I go to checkout for my 4 $1 tickets, and the total was going to be upwards of $45. online delivery fees, processing fees, convenience charges, more than $10 per ticket. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I did not buy the $1 tickets for this. I think it was Vivid Seats.
Well,
Or SeatGeek.
see,
I can't even tell you which one it was. It was ridiculous. I was like, nope. I ended up doing it. It's a transfer from a season ticket holder. So they're not even GA tickets. I got this from a Texas Tech season ticket holder for $2 a piece and spent, even then I spent, I think $30 for all four of us. Not the worst. I was like, it felt like I was getting much better stretch there for my dollars, even though $2 ticket still cost me $35 out the door.
mhm.
Because little old whoever it was I ended up using had to get their cut because it was so much effort to patch through their online their digital code from the season ticket holder to me.
Yeah, I like how they make it sound like there's a person on the other end handling your transaction. No, this is going off to some data center in Fort Stockton or whatever, and then it's bouncing back. There's no person involved in this. But SeatGeek is supposedly the official partner. It used to be Vivid for a while, but SeatGeek is supposed to be better. But I'm kind of surprised. I thought that Texas Tech would have tickets to this game just to sell directly from
they did
their site.
the same GA tickets were $16 a piece.
Well,
And
see,
then
they
they
were just
also had no. They also had their own online fees and ridiculous nonsense. I was like, I'm sorry, Texas Tech. I'm not. We ended up buying through StubHub.
StubHub.
So, full disclosure, I bought 4 tickets for $10 essentially, $9.68, $21 in fees. Spent $31. When they were telling me you have a $2 ticket, and I spent $31.
The math ain't mathin'. That's more than $2.
Just book it in, like just bake it into the price. Don't sell me a $2 ticket and then ended up charging me $10 a ticket by the time I'm just called a $10 ticket. Anywho's, it's a scam.
It absolutely is.
One of my favorite bits on TikTok, and I don't know if you've seen this guy, he'll have like, is it a scam? Yep. And then he'll just go through something that like is a totally normal everyday thing. You're like, wow, actually that is pretty much a scam. Marketing for smash burgers, online ticket resellers. Yep, we're there. What'd you learn?
I did and this is not to, I'm not going to be a guy that's going to get a 5K bumper sticker or something on my car. But I got to do the Carol of Lights 5K this year. It's the second time I did it.
I think I've told you about my connection to this, right?
Probably. What is it?
My boss is the organizer, founder of the event.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How long has it been around?
Oh, I don't know. A long time. Because she's like over, like she's got some kind of nonprofit foundation,
Yes.
West Texas Endurance, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, they do the Willie McCool.
Mm-hmm. And
there's another one too. They do at least 3 around here.
They didn't do it this year, but it's a Halloween dog run.
Ah, that's right. I think that one got canceled because we had that on our radar, but it got canceled. So I never found out why. That's fine. Stuff happens. But anyway,
you're
good. So last year I did it, and it was disappointing, not because of anything they could help with, but the south end zone construction did not allow the runners to do a lap inside the Jones last year. And so I got lost because the route was completely different and a lot of other people got lost, and we were supposed to somehow end up in the track and do a lap in the track. And me and this other group of people, anyway, I did a 5K, but it was not the not the sanctioned route. Anyway, this year, it was back to normal, and I got to do a lap through the Jones, and man, it was so cool. It was just the coolest thing. They had the lights kind of dim; they were kind of red. They had the LEDs on, had the screen going. You go in there, and there were obviously kids in there just playing football and messing around. That was the only reason they signed up, was to just go into Jones and throw the ball around. People were taking pictures everywhere. So you got to do a full lap and come back out. But brother, let me tell you, those tunnels are no joke. If you're trying to jog up one of those tunnels, check your quads. Make sure your quads are in good shape. Get a good stretch. That's the biggest hill in Lubbock, Texas, right there. It's coming in and out of the tunnels at the Jones. But that was all I wanted to share, was how cool it was to run through there and them have the screen going, and just really, it was a perfect night too. It was just an absolute perfect night for
She was
that
talking
race.
about
It
that.
was really cold last year, but Sunday was just, it couldn't have been better.
Yeah, we talked about that at dinner tonight. Actually, that weather for the run on Sunday was so good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you went. I would actually love to try it out, except she holds it on Sunday nights, and it's no go for us. But
My
looks like it's a
girls
lot of
did the
fun.
1 mile. They did the 1 mile, and my 8-year-old, well, she's not 8 yet, but she will be next week. Anyway, she was disappointed she didn't get to do the 5K. I'm like, you've never done a 5K. We weren't sure if you could do one or whatever. So now I think that's the big talk now, is we're going to run with her at the park here and there and see how she does. I'm
Well,
sure
as
she'll
a
be fine, but I just was like, I don't want to throw her out there with all these runners, her very first 5K, and it's dark. Like I said, you've got to. She's in great shape, I'm sure, but you still got to learn to pace yourself a little bit.
yeah, I mean, as a soccer player, I'm sure she's not that far off conditioning
Yeah.
wise to get it, but
I think she would be fine.
that's cool. I'm glad you're able to do that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was.
I mean, I want to do it, but yeah, she said they had to cancel the Halloween dog run,
Halloween. Yep.
and then they got the Willie McCool in September. So they do September, October, December.
I know. I have not been able. The Willie McCool one sounds so fun. That one's over at the Silent Wings Museum. You're running on the asphalt or the tarmac, whatever you want to call it. And I think they have some planes parked out there. And I mean, that one sounds really cool, but it's usually the first or second weekend in September. And both times I've really wanted to sign up for it, I have just not been able to. So it's still on the list.
Yeah, I'm sure like running the 5K would not be required, but I would want to try to run part of the 5K, and I'm just not a runner.
Oh yeah, well they don't have, people are walking and they're doing whatever they want.
Yeah,
it's no big deal.
So, all right, that'll do it for us in the 23 Personnel Podcast. Out of here in record time. I'm just kidding. It's not even that record. Got Portal season. Las Brisas continues to be undefeated. Stakes for closers. We'll be back next week for a recap of the Lamar basketball game and previewing the bowl game versus Arkansas, hopefully joined by the guys from Hogs on the Hill. For Michael, I'm Spencer. Catch you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast. Help us out by subscribing, rating the show, and leaving a review. Follow us on Twitter at 23 Personnel, Spencer at PuntSuck, and Michael at Michael_LBK. Be sure to catch the next episode. And until then, guns up and let the tortillas fly.